what types of business organizations are available to entrepreneurs? And really, there's a wide range of considerations to coming up with the type of business entity that you want. Really, it goes into how much complexity do you want or need to have in the business? Do you have employees? Are you a one-man show? Do you need liability protection? Those are some of the considerations that you want to think about with thinking about what type of business entity you want to structure your business in. What are the types of business entities that are available, and what are the pros and cons of those businesses? Again, there's a wide variety of business types, depending on what you need. On a simple side, you don't have to do anything. You could just start your business, and you can do it as a sole proprietorship. You just hang up your shingle or put an ad in the paper and say, hey, I do this for a living. Come and hire me. And you can start doing that. And you would get, you perhaps could get, could be a great business, could generate some income for you. You would have to report that on your taxes as an individual, your Schedule C, you'd be a sole proprietor. And so that is one way of doing it. On the more complex side, you could have a corporation, you could have a partnership if you have other people involved in the business. You could form a limited liability company and have a choice of different ways to tax your business, whether it be, it's a disregarded entity, that would be kind of treated as a sole proprietor, or you could treat it as an S Corp, or you could create a C corporation, a standard corporation. So there's a lot of flavors of businesses. And again, some of the pros and cons of the different entity types is, and one of the reasons why they created this in the first place, to foster investment in business and help the whole economy to do better. One of the key aspects is liability protection. Business owners are always fearful that they're going to get sued for doing something wrong. They probably didn't intend it, usually, but they could get sued. Somebody slips and falls in their store, or they make something that hurts somebody. They make a vending machine that falls and squashes somebody. You're probably going to get sued in a situation like that. So the corporation and the limited liability companies typically can reduce the liability exposure for the business, and that's the reason they select that type of entity. And there's certain aspects also that reduce your taxes. Like, for example, on an S corporation. S corporation is kind of a tax designation often used for like an LLC, a limited liability company. But that allows you certain benefits from a tax standpoint. The biggest one being it avoids the employment taxes from the business. So, for example, if you have a sole proprietorship, all of the net income of the business is going to be taxed to you, and you're going to have to pay self-employment taxes, which is both, if you're comparing it to an employer-employee relationship, you have to pay both the employer and the employee side of the Social Security. That's about 7.5% for the employer, 7.5% for the employee, about 15%, a little bit more. But you have to fund that all yourself if you're a sole proprietorship. One of the benefits of an S corporation, the owner is able to designate a salary. It has to be reasonable according to the IRS. So they have some guidelines as to what they feel is a reasonable salary and how you estimate what that reasonable salary is. But it allows you to avoid any self-employment taxes on the extra income from an S corp. So the amount in excess of your reasonable salary will only have the normal income taxes. So really, you have the opportunity to avoid a large amount of tax, and that's the secret or one of the big benefits of an S corp. So that's one of the things to consider. Again, it can help you to avoid income tax if possible. And since it's perfectly legal, that's why they invented it, because they want those businesses to have that benefit and create a more vibrant economy. So that's what they're trying to do.